Welcome to Bubbler.
Well, hello and welcome to Bubbler Podcast. Bubbler Podcast is committed to providing water cooler conversations to make you the life of the break room and office party. I mean, let's be honest. Interacting at work is like a minefield out there, and you need all the help you can get. Kerri, the Luke Skywalker to my Obi-Wan Kenobi, what's new in your neck of the woods?
Oh my goodness. Well, I did something last weekend that I thought I would never, ever tell you I did.
Nice. Let's hear about it.
All right. I did pickleball.
Oh, no,
I
that's
know.
awesome. So was your first time being out on the court?
Yeah, we were out Saturday night. We were supposed to record a podcast, actually. We were sitting out on the porch, maybe having a glass of wine, and somebody said, "Hey, why don't we all play pickleball tomorrow morning?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't play pickleball. No, thank you." They talked me into it, and I said, "Oh, I got to record a podcast tomorrow. I don't have time." And they're like, "You can't change that? Come on." So peer pressure got the best of me, Mick. I did, in fact, play pickleball.
I was actually at an indoor football league game Saturday night with my son when you texted, and I was not feeling especially motivated to record. And I was having such a good time that I didn't even bust your balls like I tend to do on something like that. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's great that she's doing that because I've kind of kicked around the idea of discussing pickleball. And now that you have played, here we are. So
I have.
how'd it go? Did you do doubles?
It was, in fact, 2-on-2.
For those that don't know, that's typically how most people play pickleball is doubles. So it's the opposite of tennis in a lot of ways. And one of them is most people prefer singles. It's a smaller court. It's got like a ping pong feel to it, like you're standing on a ping pong table
Yeah,
because it's
kinda.
really more reflexes. Tennis is running. It's a little more strategy in tennis. You have more time at the bigger court. And with pickleball, I mean, it's outstanding for your reflexes. It's very reactionary. How'd you do? What'd you think? What'd you like? What did you not like? How'd you feel afterwards?
I got really competitive, which was strange. I also felt like it was more like tennis, so I didn't feel that it was just reflex, and maybe it's because I don't know what I'm doing. But at least I didn't hurt myself.
It's, that's a good way to look at it because honestly, I think the last time I played, I pulled something. So we'll give you that. To a lot of people, it just seemed to come out of nowhere,
It
right?
really did come out of nowhere. So, Chicken and Pickle, do you guys have that? So,
No.
Chicken and Pickle, it's a restaurant, and it's pretty big footprint, so they have pickleball courts, and they serve food, kind of like a Topgolf, but for pickleball.
Yeah, I'd heard of it.
Obviously, being in the restaurant industry and being in the entertainment, Chicken and Pickle got on our radar because it was something people were doing while eating and drinking, and I thought it was an interesting concept, and then I felt like overnight, all the tennis courts started changing to pickleball courts. I just feel like it just really ramped up really, really fast. But how long have you been playing?
My dad is an avid pickleball player. He's in tournaments all the time. He really just won a tournament in Key West. I think it was last month. He was second at his local club. He made me aware of it probably 2018, 2017, somewhere in there, I think. But here's what's crazy. Pickleball was actually invented in the summer of 1965.
Are you kidding?
No, it was on Bainbridge Island, Washington by three dads, Joel Pritchard, Bill Bell, and Barney McCollum. What had happened is it was to entertain their bored families. Remember, this is 1965 before the happy wife, happy life philosophy came into play. And now, of course, it's evolved into happy house, happy spouse. But this is the reason I'm bringing this up is in 1965, Congressman, I think I said senator earlier, U.S. Congressman Joel Pritchard and his friend Bill Bell returned from a golf outing to find their families with nothing to do. So basically, what happened is these guys were on vacation, and their vacation was based around golf. So it was the dads doing golf. They get back and realize that their family is bored. And so they went to set up the existing badminton court, but couldn't find a shuttlecock. Improvising, they used ping pong paddles and a plastic ball and realized that lowering the net made the game fun and accessible for all ages. So the little
Interesting.
ones couldn't hit it up over the badminton net. They lowered
Yeah.
it. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, this is fun. And then they recruited their friend, Barney McCollum, and the trio wrote the sport's first official rules. So
Really?
they jumped all onto this. Here's what's funny. There's two stories on how the sport became named pickleball. The first one, which kind of goes with when the trend became popular, 2017, 2018. There's a popular legend that suggests the game was named after the family's cocker spaniel, Pickles, who would chase the ball and run off with it. However, this was not true. Records show that the dog was born a few years after the game was named. You know, you think of this game and it was created by a congressman on an island in Washington, and their cocker spaniels named Pickles.
That's
It sounds so very in the
white.
civilized, super white male
White.
thing to it. And it gets even better though, because the official account is that the name actually came from pickle boat. So Joel's wife, Joan Pritchard, likened the mashup of different sports equipments to that of a pickle boat in rowing, which is a crew composed of leftover rowers from various teams who did not make the main boat.
Oh my god, I love that.
I do. It's kind of it
I
is
love that.
this sport could not sound more WASP, more white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
I
It
just
is
love
so
the
WASP.
leftover I love the leftover aspect, especially that speaks volumes to my life right now. I
But
just
it's the leftover
it is.
rowers, you know? We're talking an elitist sport. This isn't a ragtag little rascals group of misfits running around the island who
Oh
came
my
up with this
god.
mashup sport. It's a congressman returning from a golf outing with his bored rich children, and they come up with something so unbelievably wasp for them to do. And of course, I discovered it in where Naples, Florida. But let's talk a little bit real quick about the evolution and growth. You know, this all happened really quickly. 1965 is where they made it up in their backyard. By the way, backyard sports, I do want to point out that one of the reasons I love the theory of it being named after Pickles the dog who used to run around with their balls when they were playing is my ginormous 85-pound Akita Pitbull mix, Prince Maximilian Duché. We would actually play croquet in my backyard. Maximilian would go after the croquet balls and you'd have to chase after him. One of my croquet sets consists of very well chewed wooden croquet balls. But anyway, so we go from 65 to they make the first permanent backyard pickleball court was built in their home or the home of Bob O'Brien. Pritchett and McCollum in 1972 formed the corporation Pickleball Inc. to mass produce wooden paddles and nets, helping standardize the equipment. And then in 1976, the world's first known pickleball tournament was held in South Center Athletic Club in where else but Washington. And then jump forward to 1984. The United States Amateur Pickleball Association was formed, publishing the first official rule book. And then it just was a regional thing until its popularity in the 2020s due to its accessible learning curve, social nature, and adaptability to smaller courts. Pickleball experienced its massive surge in popularity, becoming one of the fastest growing recreational sports in the United States. It's just continues to grow. It's televised now. I saw there was
Yeah.
actually a tournament on yesterday. So you now tell me, how did you feel as far as learning the rules as you went? Did you watch any videos? I recommend YouTube
Mm.
videos. Did you take on to it very, very quickly, or did you find yourself stepping out of bounds or in the areas that you're not supposed to, et cetera?
So what we did is we just started just kind of like paddling the ball back and forth for a little bit just to, get comfort, I guess, and just
So
move around the
you
court.
guys
And
started
then
dinking the ball around a little
dinking.
bit?
Is that what it's called? Dinking? Okay.
Dinking.
That's a new word for me.
At any point, I want to point out that at any point you want to go back and listen to this podcast and just substitute pickleball with any sort of sexual tone or
Right?
reference. Everything we've said so
It's
far.
extremely
I mean,
uncomfortable.
I just want to say if you didn't pick up on the giggles from the get go, the amount of self-control that the two of us have shared with this terminology and
Actually,
just
this is epic for us. This is
this is
actually
epic.
we are
I
so
mean,
controlled. I'm very impressed with you, and I hope you are equally impressed with me.
I am, because I heard the slight giggle more than once. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but yes. So as you're making sure that you're where you're supposed to be, you're
Uh-huh.
warming up, you're
Yep.
dinking, you've stretched, paddling it around.
Yep.
How quickly did you get into it? How do you think you did overall? What do you
I
get?
think I did pretty good. I wanted to we were trying to learn as we go. I got my serve down, so that was good. I understood that. That was easy enough. So, serving is fine. For some reason, my hand-eye coordination needs a lot of work. Wasn't prepared for that. There were a lot of misses, a lot of, "Ugh, are you kidding me?" Most of my exercise was probably chasing said ball than actually playing pickleball. But no, it really was fun, and, we connected a lot. It was a while before we actually, played a game. I mean, we knew where we were standing, we knew the serve, we knew where not to,
Gotta
step
stay out of
in.
the kitchen, man.
Kitchen,
Stay the
yes.
fuck out of the kitchen, Gary.
Yep, yep, so we learned that right away. So it was very casual. I really had a good time. I was surprised because I had been a pickleball hater for no reason for many years. My daughter still is a pickleball hater. She was actually very nice. I think we were gonna play again today. So maybe after this podcast, I might find me at the pickleball court chasing the pickleball because I can't seem to connect.
Were you guys playing out like on a park court or at a club where there were a lot of other people playing?
Yeah, we were on a court. They are very popular, in one of the communities that my best friend lives at. You have to book them, but it was
Oh, I'm
outside,
sure.
and there was somebody else playing at the same time, which was entertaining.
Because what I love is when you go like to either a club where they have them or some of the gated communities. I think my dad's has like 8 courts. It's so much fun. You get so much more of a feel for the sport when you go somewhere where a lot of people are playing. Because for me, it was really frustrating that it cut into the amount of people that I could get to play tennis. I probably have 5 years left that my knees can keep playing. And so it gets frustrating for me when, like, my son in his 30s would rather
Mhm.
play pickleball than
Pickleball than
tennis.
tennis.
And you would think I'd be all over it because I could beat my son in pickleball, and I haven't
Mhm.
won in tennis in years. But I like that. Most tennis players enjoy playing people that are better than them. And it's one of the few sports that actually has a term for playing above your normal skill set because you're playing with someone better. It's called treeing. And that's what I love about tennis is you do play better when you play against people that are better than you. And
Yeah,
you're
I can
able
see
to,
that.
yeah, you're able to run a little harder, do a little more. And so for me, the amount of people that transitioned over to pickleball took away from that pool of
Mhm.
players I had. And I'm just not ready to give tennis up. So that was where my early hate or reluctance for the sport was. It's great. We're not 60 yet. Let's play tennis. Would I do play pickleball? I prefer singles. So it is more like tennis because I do get to run the court. When we play singles, I can actually keep up with my dad and even get the first couple games or, split 2-2. But then I wear down because I do run like tennis and he's much more strategic and he Mr. Miyagi's me and all of a sudden shows me paint defense, kills me once I can't run around. But it was kind of fun doing it at his club and having all his buddies cheer me on. Because like most sports, you
Yeah.
still get people get mad, they get frustrated. Pickleball, there is more of a great shot. Oh man, you got me. Or come on, man, you can do it. Pick it up. That's what I do like about it. And obviously, there are a lot of benefits if you have a bad knee or ankles or you just can't do it anymore. But I do still think it's not a replacement for tennis. I think it's just another similar sport. As an older parent, it's great because you can actually go out and beat your kid. Youth does not give you an advantage in pickleball.
Oh, no, absolutely doesn't. I don't think so. I do like your comment about knees, right? So you said you're 5 years out from not being able to play tennis. You've gotta be able to move a little bit, right? But when I settled into playing, what I noticed is if I'm just watching the ball and I realize that it's gonna go out, I'm not running. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is not tennis, right? So, like, it's a smaller court. If you're playing correctly, I don't think you really have to be super aggressive running and trying to knock things out, right? So,
Uh,
um,
yes
you
and
disagree?
no. Yes and no. Because think about it. Think about when you see those guys that are pro table tennis players, those ping pong guys. They're running all around that table.
They are,
And you
yeah.
can do the same thing with pickleball, especially like I use what I call a lot of dick moves like I do in tennis, like drop shots, things like that, spins. So you can make people move because you can put a ball in, but then when it bounces, it spins all the way to the other side. So the partner or someone's got to run after. I mean, if you play with people as the same level as you come up there, you don't need the movement. But once you get good, I mean, it's just like really, you can run, but not like tennis. Like you're not going to run from one end of the court to the other. Like I said, also you're not going to play as much singles. But man, is it good for your coordination
It
and
really
your hand-eye coordination, your reflexes, because that's my weaker part. So that's why I'm not as good in doubles. I still have to really work on my reflexes and I get in my own head very quickly and then just start flubbing shots.
it's so weird because I have never been super competitive, and I've never been a super athletic person either. Like, I can hold my own, but I always played pool and darts, and I had a great time. I just got it okay, so hot off the press, this is what I just got. If you wanna play pickleball, 11:45, we're heading to the same court. So, I will not be attending that. That is way too soon for me. But yeah, so it's a thing, and I'm excited. I'll definitely play more often. I think it's great to be outside and be active. I will tell you that I will be practicing because I like to win. I think it's great. We'll have to do a follow up behind the mic situation and find out if Natalie ever plays. According to her, it's fine if I play, but she's not interested.
No, I think it's great. First few times before you play, there's definitely a benefit of watching some of the YouTube videos, quick training videos that are there just to kind of refresh yourself. Make sure you go in with a little more confidence, so to speak. I highly recommend taking a couple lessons. I just took two after I'd already played on and off. Like I only play once every 2 or 3 months. My
Mhm.
goal is to pick back up this year. I'm willing to give in and just start playing more.
Well, it is one of those sports too that you can play and have a conversation and talk or listen to music or like that concept I told you about where you can, have drinks and have fun at the same time. So it's definitely not so aggressive you can't hold a conversation. And you get to spend time with, people that you love and people you want to hang out with. So if you got to hang out with your son and that's something that you both connect on and he's willing to go do that, you're definitely going to switch it to pickleball or
Well,
just, you know
we get competitive because
Shocking,
yeah.
shocking.
Well, my son was a very successful tennis player, and I don't think I beat him more than a game here and there. I haven't won a set in at least 10 years, probably. Every time I win a game, you'd think I just blanked him on a match. Absolutely. The fact that I have a sport that I can go out and play with my dad, who's in his early 80s. I don't know the average player is 80, and I will tell you, you've heard me say this before. My dad at 80 is in better shape than I am. He plays pickleball twice a day, goes to yoga at least once a day on top of that.
Mhm.
We're trying to get him to calm the fuck down. He does a little too much. But it is cool that for the first time in ever, I have a sport that I can go out and, like you said, I actually do talk to my dad, and I've had some great conversations with him on the court and like to sit down in between and talk about stuff. 'Cause my dad absolutely hates golf. And my dad's a natural. I mean, just fucking will make you so mad. He won't touch a club for 20 years, walk up to the tee box and hit something 325 down the center of the fairway. And he hates it. He hates playing golf. The couple times we played, it was just me going, how do you hate golf for 2.5 hours? Because he's so damn good at it. To have a sport that he enjoys and he'll talk and it opens him up and it puts him in his comfort zone that he's willing to talk more. Our boomer parents aren't the most talkative sometimes, unless they're shaking their rake and airing their grievances. So it's pretty fucking cool. I'm going to tell you, I think maybe you should try to go catch that court time. And I look forward to hearing about your future endeavors with pickleball. So in the meantime, Kerri, why don't you go grab a court?
All right, will do.
Have a great day.